Welcome to Coffee Talks with Tony and Dominique. This is a space for real conversations about marriage and parenting and the work it takes to grow stronger together while maintaining a Christ-centered home. Usually over a cup of coffee, we'll talk about leadership in the home, faith, communication, navigating life's challenges with honesty and intentionality. No perfection, just growth, accountability, and purpose. We're glad you're here. Let's grow stronger together. All right. Welcome. I don't have any music for this. Welcome to I think this is episode 3 of Coffee Talks. I don't know if you're going to like that or not. It's, oh, by the way, we are not sponsored by McDonald's. This is not a paid advertising. I'm eating breakfast burritos and macchiato. That's
sorry, it's fine.
It's all right. But if anyone from McDonald's is watching this and you want to pay us to eat and talk, I can do that. But I like my breakfast burritos. So this is episode 3 of Coffee Talks. I don't really have anything particular in mind unless you did.
No.
You got like a million alarms going on.
Well, we have 2 kids recovering from surgery. So we have to make sure that they're taking their medicine.
But hold on.
All the things.
Like, it's not surgery. They just had their wisdom teeth taken out.
I get it. I understand. But it's still open wounds and stuff that we have to care for them.
I know, but people, like, that surgery, and people are like, oh my gosh, what's wrong?
I understand.
It's Christmas Eve. We're together in family. Church. What time are the church sessions?
I don't know.
Aniela
was going to look and send them to me.
No, I think it would be good to go to church tonight, right?
Or right before tomorrow.
I would rather do it this evening.
Okay. As long as Melania's off pain pills, then we're good.
She'll be fine. Baby boo.
Baby boo.
Not what she was yelling. What was she saying? What's the trend? Call me baby boo?
There's a song. I don't know. Anyways. All right. What else you got?
Well, I just want to talk about like how the holiday seasons can be stressful for people. And
what are some of the ways that you can make it more enjoyable to be like in the moment? And
absolutely. Yeah,
I mean, personally for me, I prepare in November. Like I start super early because I just have a lot of people to buy for, all my staff at the med spa.
Well,
both sides of the family. We still do all
like,
the
let's back up
nephew.
for a minute. Let's back up for a minute. You gotta, so your personality type, remember on the personality thing, on the predictive index?
Yeah.
You're a coordinator.
Yeah.
So I just, like, if anybody's listening to this and they're like, I am not going to plan Christmas in November, I don't blame you, me either. I'm doing it like.
Well, it just depends too.
Well, like, for instance,
do people host holidays? Like we host holidays too. With it, most families have like 10 people in their family. Like when I host a holiday, I have 40 people here. So I feel like
we have great nieces and nephews.
Yes.
And
12.
We will probably have. Is there 12? No, not 12 greats. Just total nieces and nephews with the greats is 12.
Probably 14. Well, if you count you count their spouses.
Yeah.
And then nieces and nephews and then greats. And
we're probably going to be alive. We're going to definitely be alive for greats. We might even be alive for triple, like great.
Cool. That's Angel's got to get caught up. Angel and Anna Marie. Come on. Let's go.
Anna Marie's probably next, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So anyways, I prepare really early in advance so I can enjoy this time so I'm not so stressed out about it. I mean, it's my busiest time at work. Like this is the busiest season. Like you're back to back every single day. And then, the kids' parties and all their events that they have to go to. And they got, I think Melania had like 3 white elephants, Aniela. I mean, it's just, you just prepare in advance and it makes it a little bit more enjoyable.
So this is going to be like
and hopefully people have spouses that are involved in help with all the planning and buying of gifts and that it's not just put on one person during the holidays.
I was going to ask you that question. Like, oh boy. Well, I walked myself into that one. Well, let's be transparent here. So what could I know I've helped, when anything you've asked me to do, but you don't really ask me to do much, you just do it. Next year, what could I do better? Like what if there were one major thing that I could do better, what could I do better next year?
I don't.
Full disclosure, I'm not saying I'm going to be able to do it, but
I was kind of thinking maybe next year switch it up a little bit and maybe go out of town.
It's not a bad idea. Instead of doing all the gifts.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is, we still got the guy coming.
Yeah.
So
I don't think the guy comes next year.
You don't think? He's upstairs.
He's on his way down. So yeah, we'll just have to play it by ear. But I don't know. It's not one of those things. I wrap as the gifts come in. I kind of have it down to a regimen. I mean, we bake Italian cookies for 4 days straight. I got everybody here doing that. I have kind of well-oiled machine, and it's not like you can take off work like if I need to take off work, So I don't know.
So just nothing. So what I'm hearing though is basically,
I think for me is
the
just
more preparation you have, the better it'll be. But I think that's applicable in life in general, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think just to understand like everything that goes into it, like be like mindful and supportive of what I'm going through or what I'm doing, and just supporting me in that aspect. You may be asking, is there anything I can do, even though I'll probably tell you no. You know what I mean? Like right. Just knowing that, hey, I know Dominique's doing all these things. So
do you think that you think we do enough? I personally don't. I don't think we do enough intentionality around the meaning of Christmas, like we do on like the day of, and but leading all up to
we have done. I told you that in the past. Like this year felt very off, probably because I hosted Thanksgiving and not Christmas with the girls with surgeries and.
Kind of busy.
We didn't do much. We didn't go see lights. We didn't go to Crown Center. We really didn't do anything like Christmas themed. So it was a different year this year for us, I think.
Last night when I had Owen on, he said, one of the things, the messages he left is that it's never too late to do the right thing. Like, so even if you're off a little bit, it's like, get back on now. Right. And so I think that being intentional from here on through the next couple of days of really thinking about Jesus and church and, trying to make that. And like you said earlier, putting our phones down, for the next couple of days and try to really be engaged, family, Jesus, all of that. I think it's important. We should do that. For sure.
Okay.
I'll try to head that up by not being the person on the phone.
Yeah.
Well, the girls are recovering. That's good.
Yeah, Melania's doing better. Thankfully, she took her a minute, but I think she's better.
So with with the new year coming, anything that we're planning different for this year for our family? Are we gonna hopefully finish the basement?
The basement will get finished. Open the 4th location for my work in Parkville. That should be done in February. Personally, like for our family, we have a lot of travel coming up for the kids' sports. Yeah. I mean, and not just like Wichita, but Vegas and Salt Lake City and a lot of places.
Soccer.
A lot of soccer, a lot of volleyball. We're
going to do a couple of wrestling.
We're going out Omaha. And then we have a couple big family vacations with our friends. We're going with the Terminies in July, and then we're going to go with the Shemaikas in
So let's talk about
August
on sports, because this is a big topic, I know, and this is a how like people, you hear all the time that people grow apart. these are the times when they actually start growing apart. Like you get in the busy cycles of life, and we're doing with good intentions. We're dividing and conquering. It's natural for me to take the boy, you take the girls. I'm going to wrestling with him, and then we just get in that groove. What seems to be a groove, what can turn into a rut, and then before you know, your kids are gone, and you don't even know each other because you've been doing this divide and conquer for 10 years straight or whatever it is, and then you think that you let the devil implant those thoughts in your head that we've grown apart. And in fact, it's true. People can, right? It's not that necessarily they grow apart. They just grow, and they have different interests or whatever, and you haven't taken time. So I think it's super important that you guys know, if you're watching, that if you are busy and you have kids and your workload, whatever, if you're in a busy season of life, those seasons can last for 8 to 10 years. And I think it's super important that you're intentional about dating each other and being interested in each other and talking and connecting. And, for me, this coffee talks thing is, I know, it's public, and we obviously do these types of things privately as well. Not everything we talk about is always on camera. But I think it's important to make sure you're coming back together to connect, to grow together. It's kind of like, I seen an image the other day that made me really think about this, grafting a tree. If you've ever seen that, where like people take limbs off of a tree or a tree that's dying or something like that. And then they I don't know exactly the process, but they cut the tree in a certain area and like expose the inner part of the tree. And then they put the branch with it, the other live branch, and then they tape it together and they grow together, right? So, but that didn't just happen, right? Like that branch just didn't blow over and stick to the tree. Somebody was intentional about putting them together, taping them together, making them grow, making it grow together by being intentional with the process. And I think that is the marriage should be looked at the same way. We're two different people that aren't just going to blow together. We are in the same house and we're going to see each other in passing, but it's very easy to be, like we say all the time, two ships sailing in the night, especially if you can get on, the kids' practices start getting late, and one person takes the late practice one time, the other, and we get home and the other's in bed sleeping already, whatever. It's very easy to get caught in that rut and in fact growing apart. So growing apart will happen on accident. Growing together has to happen with intentionality, right? That's not going to happen on accident. And just like anything in life, the stuff that's harder, doing the hard right, is always better, right? And so when you stop and think about, what is more, just look at your life in general and look at things that you should be doing. And it's probably inconvenient, it's probably hard, it's probably challenging, it probably takes more resources. Everything good in your life takes intentionality, right? And marriage is no different. Body, your physique, and how you take care of yourself, your skin, your weight, whatever. It all takes intentionality, right? And anything that is not good for you doesn't take any intentionality. It will just happen naturally, and that's the product of being in a fallen world, I guess. Now I don't know. It's kind of strange how that works, right? Like anything that's worth anything is hard. Right. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's I don't know how we got off on that, but that was good stuff. I think just being intentional, right? We're in the holiday seasons and it's busy, and you look up and it's like, wow. I look up and 2025 is gone. A whole nother year is gone. Mm-hmm. So I think this next year for me, with some conversations that I've had, with Chris and Ryan and things like that. This next year for me is going to be pruning some of the peripherals and, going deeper on, instead of wide, but going deeper on the things that are of more substance and more important, spending more time, intentional time with staff at the dealerships, and maybe going to lunch and like having conversations with them and get this for me. because of the life that I've lived of, we grew up and we weren't rich. We didn't have, everything we wanted. And so, as I've gotten older and fortunate enough to have things, I felt like, for a while, more and more and more, it felt like it made me feel better, right? It made me feel more accomplished. And the further I've gone in life, the more I feel like the more and more and more I feel more burdened rather than fulfilled. So when you start shelling off the amount of things and focusing more, less is more, that theory, right? And going deeper in, having deeper relationships. So 26, that's what that's going to be for me. It's going to be being intentional, like we're done expanding with the med spas. You got 4 locations. I think that's great. It's awesome. You guys have done a fantastic job building that thing up and getting it going. And now let's keep that and go deeper with that and just make those thrive and make those to where they're just seamless and they're effortless, and then maybe, years later we can talk about expansion or something like that. And same thing with me. I'm gonna really, really focus on the 4 dealerships I have and really pour all my heart and soul into the people. We've got a new advertising deal that we're going to start next year with a group of us. So I'm really excited about that. There's just a lot of things that. So my word for the last 2 years have been surgical, and I think this year the word that just came to me is intentional. I'm going to be more intentional in everything. The kids, work. I'm going to be I'm going to put a lot of thought into being deeper with intentionality. That just came to me.
That's good.
No. Anyway, what else? Anything else you want to talk about? I think if we keep these coffee talks short, more people will like them. Hey, listen, so this is a playlist, and you can go back and play these. And if you hit the like and subscribe button and hit the bell, you'll get notifications when these drops if you like these. And then also, I want to keep this like couples related, be real, talk about some of the things. We won't always come on here and we argue, we fight about stuff. We do. There's absolutely, we're a real couple that goes through things just like everybody else does. And we'll talk through some of that stuff. And I'll try to be intentional about making notes of some of those things, because typically when we argue, we use the tools that we've learned to work through them, right? It's important. Sometimes it sounds cheesy, like we use a timeout rule and some other things. So if there's anything that you guys are struggling with, or that you would just like a different perspective from another married couple, we've been together 20 years now. This next year will be 19 years of marriage. So I think we're battle tested. We've been through some darkness. There's been divorce papers drafted. Separations have happened. Everything's happened in our relationship. It hasn't been all rainbows and butterflies. So, we can give you a lot of tips on what not to do. We're still learning things to do, right? We're getting better every year, I think. You certainly are. You're like a fine wine. You get better with age, girl. I don't know. What else? Anything else?
Not a lot of.
Well, that is our Christmas Eve session of Coffee Talks. Thanks for playing along. All right. Cheers.
It was actually pretty good.
Do you like it?
Mm-hmm.
As always, tell them.
What?
What do I say at the end?
Be good, be blessed, be stronger.